Is die nogad vraith vraith, a green balawad banraith, wir gaith gochenin.
Whenever I look at my manga arm, I can't help but think about all the events that led up to me getting my arm broken. To that Halloween night below the oak when a normal walk home turned to a fight to the death. At first I thought it was Cecil Jacob, a guy who used to prank me all the time. But I knew the whole time it wasn't him. I was just too afraid to face the truth. The first clue I have that me and Scout were being followed was the swishing of pants as we walked. A little while later, I heard the swishing turn into a running, and I knew we were being chased, and I shouted to Scout, "Run! Scout! Run! Run!" The rest of the night was nothing but a haze of confusing shapes and noise. Can't really remember anything else it must be to. The next memory I have was me waking up in my bed with a throbbing pain throughout my arm. When I was a child, I always thought Maycomb folks were the best folks in the world. At least that's what they seemed like. Before the trial anyway. The trial of Robinson. Tom Robinson was a Negro who was accused of raping a white woman. Mayella was her name. Not to sound like a cliche, but I remember that trial like yesterday. Atticus was at his akeem of his career during that trial. He was on everybody, riding them like a goat. No witness was safe from his barrage of questions. He even made Mayella cry on the stand. He asked some rough questions too. One was, who beat you up, Tom Robinson or your father? And another question was, when he's rightful, have he ever beaten you? What I thought sealed the trial for us was when Atticus showed the whole courtroom that Robinson was a cripple. He got it caught up in a cotton gin when he was a boy. It tore up all the muscles loose from his bone. There was no way in Dixie that Robinson could have raped that girl and beaten her and choked her and hold her down on the ground with only one good arm. Atticus' closing statement was perfect. A truly great speech hitting the topic of race, right and wrong, and freedom. I can still hear his last line ringing in my head. In the name of God, believe him. I was so excited, jumping around the place saying, "We won, haven't we?" Of course, I was a child, so naive I was. There was no way in Dixie that we could have won. But I didn't know this. I was living in a world of childhood innocence and white utopia. I was unaware of racism, even though racism was all around. The cold truth is that Robinson was doomed from the very beginning, for he was a Negro and Mayella was a white. White trash, but white nonetheless. I didn't fully appreciate Atticus until now, for he didn't take the case because he could win, but because it was the right thing to do. And he was a gentleman, just like how I am a gentleman. Ever since that day, I looked at people differently. I know now that everyone is corrupt. Yes, everyone, even the Pope. And no one is bad nor truly evil, not even Hitler. I always try to look at things from different points of view to get the full truth. but that is simply an impossibility. Like Atticus was always saying, you never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. Every town and every neighborhood have that one house, that one family. It's the one that's run down old and the paint is peeling off the shingle and looks like it's haunted and the family never comes out. The whole family shouted rumor and speculation, and for Maycomb, it was the Radleys, more specifically, Arthur Radley, known by us kids of Maycomb as Boo Radley, the county boogeyman. No one had ever seen Boo Radley save the adults, but for us when we were children, all we knew about him were nothing but rumors. Oh, the numbers of rumors surrounding Boo was uncountable, and being children they were all hoarded. And the fact that Boo never left his house didn't help either. One particularly nasty rumor was, as Mr. Radley passed by Boo, drove the scissors, which he was using for scrapbooking, into his parents' leg, pulled them out, and wiped them on his pants and resumed his activity. And being the lone rascal I was, I believed every last one of them. I was fascinated with Boo Radley, the way someone might be fascinated with Jack the Ripper or any other serial killer. I looked for a long time at the Radley place, many a time for the light post, wondering what he was doing. I would often try to communicate to him. One time, me and my brother-in-law, at the time friend, came up with an idea of attaching a note to a fishing pole and lowering it into his house. The note was nothing special. We just wrote something along the line of, "Come out sometime and tell us what he was doing there. We wouldn't hurt him and we'd buy him an ice cream." You might have guessed what had happened next or just read the book, that we did not succeed. And when Atticus found us, he was mad as hell. I would never forget the last thing he said. "Son, I'm going to tell you something and tell you once. Time. Stop tormenting that man." Being the kid I was, I didn't listen to Atticus, though in hindsight, I should have listened to him. On the last day of summer, me, Dill, and Scout snuck out at night and went to pay Boo Radley a visit. Nothing too special, we just wanted to see him in flesh. So we snuck around to the back of his house, where he kept a garden. Now there was a barbed wire fence there, so I hold it up while Dill and Scout went under, and then they hold it up as I went under. But before we could get there was a fence. And in that fence, a gate, and that gate was creaky. When I first tried to open it, it made a loud I was so nervous that I was going to be caught. But we didn't get caught. So I told Dill and Scout to spit on it until it's lube enough not to make a sound. And they spat until it was wet. And then we pushed that open and snuck up to the back porch of the Radley houses. Now me and Dill were too afraid to actually go up, but Scout was brave enough, and she went up. And as she was looking into the house, a shadow appeared. I don't know how a shadow appeared, but it did, and nonetheless terrifying. We were so scared we couldn't even move, and the shadow inched closer and closer to Scout. But as right before it was about to touch Scout, it stopped and backed off. And immediately we took off. But not before Boo Radley brother found us. He took out double gauge shotgun and fired it in the sky. Boy, we were really scared. Me and Scout and Dill just booked it. and I got stuck under the barbed wire fence. I thought I was going to die, and Dill and Scout just took off. But eventually they noticed I was gone and came back. I couldn't get my pants unstuck, so I just took them off and booked it. Now, we knew we would have been suspicious if we didn't show up when the whole neighborhood saw up, so we did. And we looked even more suspicious, for I was in nothing but me underwears. And Atticus, being a Laura, or just even a human with two eyes, noticed that and said, "Where's your pants, son?" I was so scared, I was unable to think of an excuse. But Dill, being a quick wit, he thought of the best excuse. He told them we were playing strip poker in his backyard and that I lost my pants. All the adults believed him, and Atticus told me to go back and grab my pants. Now, of course, still didn't have my pants. I just went home and straight up to my bedroom. But I know if in the morning I did not have my pants, Atticus was going to have my head. So I snuck out for a second time that night and went back to grab the pants. But the scariest thing of that night was where my pants was waiting for me. For not where I left them, but they were hanging over the fence, folded, stitched up like they were waiting for me as a gift. I didn't question, for I was too scared of what the truth would be. I've been told many times before that it was Boo Radley who saved my life on that Halloween night below the oak. That was Boo who killed Bob Ewell and carried me home to Atticus and saved my life. But like I said before, the night was nothing but a haze. If my life depended on it, I could not tell you one detail about Boo. Although after that night, my interest in Boo took a nosedive. I felt like I understood something about Boo that I didn't understand before. Something which you could not communicate with words. And so as Atticus so wanted me to do, I stopped bugging Boo, and I gave him his peace. Never once after that day did I ever try to communicate with him, and I never did met Boo Radley. I often wonder whatever did happen to Boo Radley.